And welcome to the Redraft Show with Piff and Cash, episode 104. Now you see me, now you don't. I am Tomcat. This is Piff. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, man? What a wild week. I was going into Monday with a bunch of, looking like wins, in the double Monday night game. Woke up with a big fat L.
It is crazy how many leagues I had the exact same thing happen to me, and I was coming in here to tell you that. Didn't even have to. Happened to you too. All right, good to know. I feel like a couple, and you know what? We're in so many leagues. I'm sure you had a couple, maybe not the ones that were as important to you, but I'm sure you had a couple where the opposite happened, where you were like, well, there's no way I'm winning this. And you came back and you won by like 4 points, and you're like, oh, okay. But yeah.
Yeah. A lot of injuries again. More news on injuries. Some guys coming back out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Good to see, like some Amari Cooper action. The two touchdowns.
I was cool with that too, because listen, Amari Cooper comes back and they lose. Awesome.
A lot of like no-name running backs showing up, doing things. Gonna see if
you're not ice copy thing. Sorry, I don't know if you caught that. You were looking down.
I did. Saquon and Neighbors are unbelievable fantasy assets.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, gotta move stuff around. Yeah, I'm very, very, very happy. Ooh, you can see sweat on my head. I'm very, very happy with how everything's going with Neighbors. He just looks unbelievable. But as far as like, I like the Giants, whatever. But I'm talking about fantasy, and I mean, I know this isn't the Dynasty show, but like, Dynasty owners got to be so happy. We'll talk about that in a couple days when we do the next show. But I'm so glad that we got him. No, the Giants. I'm so glad that we, as fantasy owners, got him, that we were in on him.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm loving every second of it. I got a lot of them, because
I have a lot of him.
A lot of people weren't on as high as him as I was.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't take him 101. I will say I was one of the people where if Marv was there, I took Marv. But if he was 102, I took 102. He was my clear 102. Looking now, I'm cool with either guy, but I'd probably grab Neighbors because I think he's more explosive.
He is. He's something else, man.
Yeah. Very
crazy catches.
Yep.
Crazy
What's up,
change
Pete?
of direction.
Don Chi. What's up, man? Yeah. I had one. It's keeper, but I put it in the vein of redraft. But I have one where I met John, and me and him are in the same division, and our division is clearly the best ever. It's me, him, and J Mask in the same division for years and years and years. Then I've slowly trickled them into our dynasties. And dude, our division is clearly the best. Like, we don't have the most champions because but every year there's 6 teams in the playoffs, and every year 3 of them are our division, and it's because it's 3-team divisions. Every year it's our teams in the playoffs. That's it.
That's crazy.
So, shout out to him. We'll have to do a keeper league next year.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I'll do it, guys. Maybe Piff will be in, maybe he won't. But,
I don't know. Trying to cut back.
Well, come back on the 3 ones then, not the podcast ones. That's okay.
Connor, what a dud he had this weekend. James Conner, what a dud.
Yeah, it was a bad week for him. I'm not going to write him off the rest of the season, but I will say I expect his floor to be higher than that. Like, his floor, I expect to be, you got 10 points from Connor. I don't expect that low of single digits. I definitely have to agree. I'm not worried about it long term, but I have to agree. I was very disappointed. It actually cost me. It single-handedly cost me a couple leagues. I have a couple leagues where pretty much everybody on my team did well, and then he dudded, and I lost by like 2 points.
Yeah,
Yes, I am.
T. Higgins didn't have a good return either.
Yep. No, he didn't, but he's coming back from the injury.
Sauce.
So I'm okay with it for now. And I'm really glad about Jamar Chase.
Oh, yeah, he finally showed out.
He showed up. Burrow finally showed up.
Yep. Tough loss. Tough loss.
Tough loss. They're 0-3, but I don't know. I could see them popping back. And they're one of those teams that, like, even if they don't make it to the playoffs, they're always going to be trying.
Mm-hmm. What else did I watch? Dobbins didn't do anything.
Dobbins didn't do anything, but remember that we I don't know if it was off air or on air, but I know we touched that this was a bad matchup for him. So it is what it is. I mean, I'm listen, Gus, all I say is if Dobbins did bad but Gus did well, then I'd be like, okay. But Gus went 3 for 9. So it was just like, okay, I mean, clearly, even though Dobbins didn't do well, he's clearly the guy. So there's a couple other storylines. I mean, look at
you can hit
the Rams. Like, who do you pick every week? Tutu Atwell explodes. Demarcus Robinson's always going to be good, but it's just like this is just back to last year, where it's just random.
Seems like it's going to be like Robinson's going to be like the floor guy. Tutu's going to be the ceiling guy. You know, whatever you're looking for that week, it seems. You know what I'm saying? Like if he'll score. Like, can you hear me?
Yes. No, it's just a low delay. You're good.
All right.
I also, I'm not gonna lie. I apologize. I was reading the chat for a minute, so I heard what you said, but I was taking a second to respond before I finished reading what I was reading. Yeah, I'm just very happy with a lot of the guys that I didn't expect to do well, but I'm very disappointed with a lot of the guys I expected to do well. I would say, guys, I mean, do you want to touch on Mark Andrews?
Yeah, it's scaring me right now.
I found out he ran 4 routes.
He's scaring the hell out of me.
I think he only ran like 4 routes.
Kohler had more snaps than him. It's looking bad right now. Looking bad.
Oh, did you trade Hitman? He said he just traded J.K. and Williamson for...
Oh, Jameson Williams for BTJ and Jalen, right?
And TBD Dynasty.
Well, if you needed a running back, you should have came to me because I got like 1 million of them.
I think it's hilarious that we named it TBD Dynasty because we were going to vote on a name and then everybody just decided they like TBD better. So it's just a to be determined Dynasty League.
That's funny.
Yeah. So back to redraft. It's one of those. I almost said it's one of those things. It's like my catchphrase now unintentionally, but it's one of those things. I'm worried about Javonte, dude. It wasn't even Jaleel McLaughlin that came in and took.
Nope, Tyler Beatty.
And I probably doesn't have his name. It's Bidet.
It's not Bidet.
Yes, look it up right now.
It's Badie.
I know. I was listening to another
how you spell
podcast,
Bidet.
and they said that the announcers were saying it like that, and that all day they were laughing at those announcers at the way they were pronouncing it, and then they found out later that it is Bidet.
Gross.
I mean, it's not gross because he's clean.
Well, you know, he's cleaning some butts.
Yeah, look at. Boom. It is.
There's my wife in the back.
Hello.
We're in my office.
And then it's one of those things where what we got some streamers that did well, and then we got a couple guys I wanted to talk about that are really like just last week we talked about Shaheed, and then he goes over 5. Now, did he drop a touchdown? And did he get like valuable? He still got 5 targets, yeah. But God, does it suck to say need for Shaheed, go trade for Shaheed in Dynasty, and then the next redraft show we have to talk about how the fact that he fell on his face.
Goose egg.
Ugh, the worst kind of goose egg. And 0 for 5. I didn't even see most of the targets, but I saw the one where he dropped the touchdown. Ugh.
Brutal.
So.
But I mean, that whole game, that Saints-Eagles game, was horrible.
It really was. I couldn't even believe. I expected that to be like a really good one, and then Devontae got hurt. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't play him.
He got a concussion, right?
Yeah, bad one.
Dallas Goedert freaking went off. What do you have, like almost 200 yards receiving?
Yeah, he had like 179 yards or something like that. Yeah. So
wow.
It's really funny because
I trashed the crap out of him all off season, and then
dude, I had a couple leagues. Remember when I said I didn't say he was gonna do crazy well, but
no, you were definitely still on the Goddard train. Anything happens to AJ Brown, he's gonna be something.
Yeah, and also I was like, he was working from a knee injury last year, so even when he played, he was questionable. So like, if you're questionable going into the game every week, even if you play, I can't. Oh, and Komet. Good point.
Especially with as many, especially with as many leagues as we're in, like you gotta put those guys on the bench just in case you don't get to that one,
Yep.
Instead of taking a 0.
Cole Komet coming back to life.
Yeah. What do you get, like
what's funny?
10 targets or something like that? 10 catches?
Yeah, and I was talking to somebody, and they were talking about how Gerald Everett's been with Shane Waldron over and over and over and over again, and that what happened is I think they signed Gerald Everett as what was supposed to be a backup tight end, and then Shane Waldron was like, I like him, he's my guy, and he tried to force him in over Komet, and it didn't work. And then as soon as they used Komet, it's like, oh, magically, it's like, even though they didn't win, like he still looked good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Caleb looked okay. I mean, he made mistakes, but he got some yardage. He made some decent passes. That long bomb at the end of the half to DJ Moore, almost a touchdown.
You got to be happy about how the Bears looked if you're a Bears fan, or more importantly, a fan. Got those guys in fantasy. But even the loss, you can't even take the loss. You can't be mad about the loss. You just can't. Because they looked good. It's weird that they looked so bad when they won, and then they look so good when they lost.
Yeah, it's crazy. This NFL season's very unpredictable.
Yeah. Everything I thought was going to happen. I mean, I almost want to try to get some clips of things we said and then play them on the show. If I could figure that out.
Jaden Daniels. What do you go, 21 for 23 or something like that?
Yeah. Hit Terry. Hit Terry.
Yeah. A lot for 100 yards and a TD. It's good to see him being usable again. That's good. I had him on my bench in most of the leagues. So I was like, I can't play this guy.
I got sweat in my hat. I can't stop looking at it. Sorry. I got head now.
But Christian McCaffrey looks like he's going to be out longer than expected.
Oh, dude, I am so mad. I only got him in 1 or 2 money leagues, but I am so upset.
He's flown off to Germany to see an Achilles specialist and probably get some stem cells or something like that.
I think so. If that happens, he might be coming back sooner. So let's hope for that. Fantasy football is better when, well, you know what? Unless you don't own Christian McCaffrey, then you probably hope that he doesn't come back.
No, I got Jordan Mason. I'm trying to sell for a first right now. Come get him. You contenders, come get him.
Yeah, but we're talking dynasty or redraft right now, though. You don't want
Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, that's true too.
Especially if you're in any redraft leagues that you don't own Christian McCaffrey, you don't even want him to come back this season. For dynasty you do, but for redraft, you're just like, if I don't own him, I'm hoping he doesn't. I only own him in 1 league, and as much as I want him to come back, I think I'm 3-0 in that league right now. So I kind of like don't care if he comes back 100% as much as because all the other leagues, if he comes back, I have to face that guy.
Yeah. But I mean, if you have him, you want him to come back.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I'm just saying, my whole point is if you're not the guy who got Christian McCaffrey in redraft, or say you do 5 money leagues and you don't have McCaffrey in any of them, you don't want him to come back. Because every single one, there's a chance you have to face him in the championship.
Yeah.
So you definitely don't want that to happen.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Oh yeah. What you got? You want to bring up a subject next, or you want me to bring up the next?
Bring up the next one. I'll be right back in a second.
Alrighty. All right, guys. So I want to talk about Joe Burrow. Looked really good yesterday, and I'm not gonna lie, I talked a little negatively against Joe Burrow, and I think he looked really good yesterday in that last game. I think he looked really good, and
he did. He wasn't looking too hot. That's for sure. The first couple games.
Yeah, I think it was partially Jamar not being up to speed, and I think it was T. Higgins being out, even though he didn't get used that much. He still used a little bit.
But it definitely helped. Chase be a little more free. I would think.
Yes. I feel like he's not getting double teamed as much. Can't be really double teaming him that much when you have T. Higgins and you don't know how healthy he really is. He might be way healthier than you think he is, and then.
Well, he was saying he's good. He feels great and he's good to go. So I don't know whatever that means.
And it's his first game back, so even if he didn't do exactly what you wanted to, it's still. Come on, don't worry about it. Should be good. I'm being positive about T. We already missed a couple games. Said he's good. Hope it's good to go.
Hope so. My millions of T. Higgins shares.
Dude, a couple years ago, you bragging about how much you own.
There was so many.
It's so funny.
Not nearly as many now, but it was so many.
I know, but it was just so funny how you made a point of being like, this is my dude. This is who I'm clinging to. Look how many shares I have of him. And all of a sudden, 2 years, 3 years of injuries. And it's like, no.
Heartbreaking, honestly.
So good when he plays.
Yeah, when he plays.
My biggest issue with T. Higgins has always been he's the king of I'm healthy, play me, and then he goes in there and plays a little bit and then leaves the game. He doesn't. Missing games sucks, but missing games I appreciate more than, let me go run around and be a decoy, but really I'm not really going to get targeted because I'm hurt. Or, hey, let me go out there and run 3 snaps and then be like, you know what? I'm actually not feeling this today.
Yeah, it was rough out there this week, especially for my gambling. It was pretty bad. Luckily, I only play with pennies, so it's not too bad. It was bad.
Yeah, dude.
Bad week for me.
Bad week. But I'm really worried about Cooper Kupp as well.
Yeah, they're gonna be him and Puka are gonna be out a while.
So any time any league I have Kupp, I pretty much have to do that thing where I just have to hold on the best I can, hope that he comes back as just a fiery storm in the playoffs and helps me win a champ.
I just want him to come back and be good so I could try and sell him for something. Get out of here before you get hurt again.
That's fair.
You want to talk? Yeah, I mean, he's old, tough.
I wasn't going to invest in him, and then I only invested in him because in some redraft money leagues, he was dropping to the 3rd and 4th round, and I was like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. So that's actually Pittman for me. In our money league, he dropped to like so far down that I grabbed him, and now he's not even playable. And it's just like, damn, dude. Like, I'm not a Pittman guy. I've always been outspoken that I'm not a Pittman guy. And then all of a sudden, I finally take him because he's at a value and he's hurt me. And I'm just like, yeah, this is why I wasn't a Pittman guy.
Yeah, no, he was struggling too. But I didn't expect Richardson to be this bad at throwing the ball still. So.
But I'm mad because I did, and a couple guys convinced me. Like, I think you, Hitman, and a couple other guys did a good job of being like, yeah, dude, I think this guy's like really, really good, blah, blah, blah. And then he had a couple explosive games we got hurt, and I was like, you know what? I'll give him a shot. And then all of a sudden, that year's just been, ugh.
I mean, it hasn't been terrible, but it has been not good. I mean, it doesn't look. It doesn't look so bad that like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but he's struggling so far. You got to remember too, it's only his like what 6th game playing in the NFL.
Yeah, what's it? His like 37th game ever.
Yeah. So I mean, he's playing in the
NFL
school,
with 37. And, yeah, probably less than that, to be honest.
I think he only played like 15 games in college. He didn't even play that many.
That's what I was saying. 37. I was adding high school, college, and NFL. Same 37. Yeah, I didn't feel Pittman this year, but then in this league, I grabbed him because he fell so far. But he was also like my wide receiver 3 or 4. So like, it is what it is. I fell to 1 and 2 this week because me and Steel City had a crazy, crazy close match. But then all of a sudden, Christian Kirk went off. So it just is what it is. I got Calvin Ridley. For all the people out there, sorry happened to you too. 1 week Calvin Ridley's awesome. 1 week he's another. I have one league specifically where every single week my flex 2 rotates between Jerome Ford and Calvin Ridley, and every single week I play whatever guy scores way less. I just can't understand it. I benched Ridley as 1 good week, and I played him as 2 bad ones. And I played Ford his 2 man weeks, and then his 1 impressive week, I benched him. So,
I mean, I feel bad about taking so much Pittman myself, Pete. I mean, you didn't feel Pittman. I felt him, and I regret doing it.
Yeah.
Well, that's good on you.
Sorry, guys. I didn't wash it. I didn't get a cup, so I'm just straight up drinking out of the iced coffee thing.
Who cares?
But I'm the only one drinking it, so it's what it is. Yeah, this is what worries me. What worries me about the Pittman thing is I hate when there's a wide receiver who's the clear wide receiver 1, and you can't even use the excuse about his accuracy because look at Alec Pierce. So it's like Alec Pierce is like, I mean, I think he had 1 bad game, but he was crushing it for 2 games, and Pittman was doing nothing. What's the excuse there? So,
bad news.
Bad news. Bad news. I called it. And even CJ Stroud, a little bit of bad news. His weapons still look good, but
yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. That no mixing, being able to, be that threat running the ball.
Yep.
Killed him, really. Cam Akers didn't do anything. Got an 8-yard receiving touchdown, but he did nothing on the ground.
That saved the week. That made him look more playable.
Under 20 yards, I think, is not good.
Yeah, no, it's not good. It made him look playable to anybody who's like crazy desperate for an immediate running back. They're gonna see that fool's gold and they're gonna be like, "Oh, he got decent enough to play," and it's like, no, because without that touchdown, he was not playable.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. I mean, that's like something you do for tight end, where you're going for a guy you know is not gonna do well, but you're like just hoping for a touchdown.
Like Brenton Strange this week.
I feel bad. I told a lot of people to grab him because he did so well the week before. I was like, listen, if Ingram's out, grab him, and he didn't do anything. But
he scored a touchdown.
Not answering my text.
He scored a touchdown.
I know. I was being sarcastic. Did you see my? I'm sorry, I was being sarcastic, but then did you see my text from last night?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, no, wicked bad.
Yeah,
I watched that. It was bad.
did you see
He's
that?
bad.
Did you see that funny stat?
No, he's just bad. I don't want to see the stats. He's bad.
No, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. The stat is he's the first person to throw an interception to somebody who's died. Isn't that insane? It's the truth. Damar Hamlin died and then came back to life, dude. And Trevor Lawrence, the first. I think that story is awesome. Now he's at the interception from Trevor Lawrence. Whew.
I think it's a good story anyway because he went from being some bum that got hit by T. Higgins to now he's actually a playable
To be the guy
NFL player.
He went from the guy who hit T. Higgins to the guy who
got hit by T. Higgins.
To the guy who hit Tua.
Yeah. Well, no, Tua hit him.
I know. The joke was there. I had to take it, you know.
Hawk Tua.
It sucks. I hope Tua's okay. Hope he comes back, especially like in real life, more than anything. Pause. And also for fantasy, obviously, because I just wanted to make that pause and make sure I made it clear what's more important. What's more important is his health and his brain and his family. But if he's okay and good to go and he wants to play fantasy, oh man, do we need him to come back, because unless they grab another quarterback, I don't see a very good season for either one of these guys. Two of the best wide receivers in the entire NFL, and they're both gonna have bad fantasy seasons.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some of the important things that happened this weekend.
Well, Kyron Williams.
Yeah, he's going to be a thing with nobody around.
He's got to be. Tutu Atwell looked really good.
Yeah, he did. He had that big bomb, too, at the end of the game.
Yeah. People forget he was a second-round wide receiver.
And he was very young, so it seems like he's been around forever, but he's still like 24.
Yep. He's one of those guys I grabbed in like the third or fourth round in dynasties, and then sat on him, and then right before he did well last year, I dropped him a ton. But back to the redraft. I'm worried about Zamir White officially. 3 weeks is enough. 3 weeks is enough time. I was already kind of worried. I'm very worried now. And Madison has outplayed him a couple times now.
Yeah.
Now, if we saw Madison look horrible last year and he's completely outplaying Zamir, that's not good. That just makes me think that last year he just caught lightning in a bottle, did well for like 3 or 4 weeks, and he fooled us all.
I feel like there was some offensive line changes, too, that might be impacting this. But I'm not ready to, give up on him, but you won't see him in my starting lineup anymore.
Oh, yeah. You can't drop him. But you don't want to play him. I agree 100%. It just sucks that he's a guy you thought you were going to... You thought he was going to do for you what Brian Robinson's done for the most part. Yeah, he didn't have that great of a night last night, but he still double digits and got a touchdown. So it just is what it is. In the other 2 weeks, he was great. Now Eckler's hurt.
Yeah.
So now he's going to be even better. I'd imagine they're going to get another running back in there, but at the same time, it's going to be the Brian Robinson show.
Yeah, thank God. I have a lot of him. I was touting him all off season too.
Oh, I was agreeing with you. I was right with you. In fact, in startups, I remember either one of us would take it from each other and be like, what the fuck? Why are you grabbing Brian Robinson? No, it's okay. I looked at the time. We're up 30 minutes. First player, 30 minutes. Heck yeah. I'm worried a little bit about... I just hope Redraft and Dynasty, I really wanted Brian Thomas Jr. to be a thing. And now I'm starting to get a little worried because Trevor Lawrence is so bad. There was so many times during that game where I was not only watching the game, but watching the game as a scout and trying to figure out, hey, is this as bad as I've been touting for the last couple weeks? And it is. He missed an open Brian Thomas on so many occasions. It was sickening. So many times.
I know. I watched a lot of that game, and it was like that.
What's up, hey man?
I was like, yo, is Brian Thomas going to have a game? He definitely could have if he caught all them balls. Could have been a real good game.
Yeah, and there was multiple times he was completely open, and he just completely overthrew him. That interception to DeMar Hamlin, he just straight up over Brian Thomas directly to him.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So, I don't know if he has the yips. I don't know what it is. I just know that the first year, everybody was... What up, man? I don't know what it is, but it's just one of those things where I'm on red alert now because they paid him, so they're going to 100% use him. There's no way they're getting away from him. There's no way they're turning around from him. And he is scaring me. I am scared of Trevor Lawrence. I have so many Brian Thomas Jr. shares. So many shares. And they mean nothing unless Trevor Lawrence can actually do something.
I mean, they don't mean nothing. But...
No, this year.
Yeah. Yeah, but we've seen this before from him, too. We've seen him stink and then have very good games.
Yeah, I'm not saying drop him. I'm not saying drop him.
Yeah, I have to agree. But to stop giving him a big head like that. You got to stop doing that. Don't ever say Cat was right and put it on wax, because now we're never going to hear the end of that.
My head is big right now. Listen, I wanted to be right. I have a lot of shares of Trevor Lawrence. I wanted to be right. I have a lot of shares of, Christian Kirk after that one good year. I have a lot of shares of Brian Thomas Jr. I have a lot of shares of ETN. But it's just the tape is the tape, the facts are the facts, and the stats are the stats. And now Daniel Jones is coming off an ACL and outplaying him. Off an ACL injury.
And he's playing him by a lot. But he has Malik Neighbors, who's the best.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors is the best. Malik Neighbors is a god.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Certain running back he took everywhere. Oh.
A lot of some heat going on in the.
Which running back? Because I've definitely taken some. Are you gonna talk about Dobbins? I took everywhere in redraft, but if he's talking dynasty, then he's probably taking a hit at Trey Sermon, who I took everywhere. That's one of my biggest failures ever. Ugh.
No,
but I know a lot of.
He scored a touchdown this week.
Yeah. Yeah, he did, and it kind of made me frustrated because as somebody who owns Jonathan Taylor in a lot, I was like, wow, that could have been 3 touchdowns for Jonathan Taylor. But yeah, Trey Sermon's not ideal, but at the same time, I do own him in so many leagues that a lot of the ones I do own him by chance, just by the fantasy gods, I have Jonathan Taylor in those leagues. So he just became my handcuff. He's a long-term first or second round handcuff.
Perfect situation.
Yeah, but in redraft, I would say keep an eye on him. He scored a touchdown this week, and if Jonathan Taylor gets hurt or banged up or anything, grab him. Or, we talked about it at the end of the episode briefly. If you have an empty spot, if you have an IR guy, throw them on, and before the week starts, go to those waivers and look for backup running backs. who would benefit or possibly could benefit if somebody got hurt and pick them up. And then if something happens during the week, you're going to have them on your team already. I mean, Redraft's a beast. And like we talked about it. Our dynasties are so deep that we really don't have a lot of waivers. It's mostly just a new guy will pop up every once in a while. Other than that, it'll pop up every once in a while. Redraft, you have to be very on it. And if you have that empty spot, use that empty spot. So,
absolutely.
What do we think about
waivers are way more important too. I hated it because I lost a lot of games because of it. I really did.
I loved it.
I wish I would have knew I lost earlier. I wouldn't have been so excited.
I was hit and miss. I lost a lot of ones that really mattered a lot. All the ones that I won that mattered a lot were already decided on Sunday. So Monday was mostly disappointment, but I will say I loved being able to watch 2 games. Because I had one going on my TV and one going on my iPad.
I just kept flipping back and forth through commercials on my phone.
Yeah. Sometimes I set one up on my PC, one up on my iPad, and then I play Madden on the TV. I just go like half-ass watch the 2.
It stinks though, because I got to go to bed early, so it's like I can't even watch the whole thing anyway, and I know it. So
wish they were spaced out better. I definitely agree. I do wish they were spaced out a little better. I don't like that one. There's just a stutter start.
I wish it started at 6.
Yeah, but they're trying to appease to the West Coast.
Yeah, I know. That's what kills us East Coasters big time. I mean, it's cool to have primetime games, but it's still how prime time does it have to be?
Or maybe have another 4 o'clock game, so you don't only have a couple games going at 4.
Or just air it on the West Coast at that time.
You know what I didn't mind?
Let them watch recorded.
Can I tell you what I didn't mind? The Friday game when they did Brazil. I didn't mind the Friday game. If they did Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and Monday.
That's crazy.
They might do 6 of these next year. I hope they actually go do what they did with the Packers game. Not in Brazil specifically, but I would like to see them do a Thursday game, a Friday game, mostly on Sunday, and then one Monday.
I could deal with a Friday game.
Yeah, it would give us one extra night of football. I don't care about Friday. I'm not going out where I'm like, oh, I can't watch the game and blah blah blah. What's with that?
That's weird. That's funny.
Yep.
You want to do some waiver guys?
Yeah. You go first.
Your QBs, tight ends, wide receiver, running back. We'll do it like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my first one is going to be Sam Darnold. I mean, if he's still out there, you got to grab him. You have to. He's doing too good. I know. I mean, the yards aren't there, but he's throwing a lot of touchdowns, so it's kind of something you got to keep an eye on.
Did you see what Belichick said?
No.
Belichick was on, I can't remember which show. It might have been the Manningcast or it might have been another show where he was they were talking about Darnold, and he goes, I talked to a lot of guys in Carolina. I talked to a lot of guys in Minnesota and then even the Rams. He goes, everybody I've talked to said they really liked him and they wanted to keep him in there as a backup or give him a shot. He goes, the only people who didn't like him was the Jets. So it's just funny. It's just another example of the Jets fumbling and that he actually might be kind of good. We just over and over and over.
Yeah,
was it Pat McAfee? Good call. Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Pete. So it was the Pat McAfee show, and he was talking about that. I didn't watch the show. I just saw the clip, and he was saying that a lot of people liked him. As much as I like the opportunity for JJ McCarthy as far as dynasty goes, there's a world where they just spent a first round on him, and then Sam Darnold is their actual quarterback.
There is a world that can happen, but
I'm not saying it will.
Depends. They need to win a lot of games this year.
If they go to the playoffs and even get eliminated in the first round, Sam Darnold still stays as their quarterback. If they go to the playoffs because of Sam Darnold, I think there's a chance.
I don't think so.
I take that back. Minnesota's the same franchise that dumped Case Keenum after he led them to the playoffs.
But also, I'm pretty sure Donald's just a one-year deal, so he's probably going to be more sought after anyway.
Oh, well, I would assume the Vikings are the one who would sign him.
There's other teams out there that need a QB. Then they have one already that they were going to start, and then he got hurt.
Hey, it's another quarterback I was right. That's another quarterback I was against consensus to get, and I got so much dirt kicked in my face, so much spit spat at me.
What am I asking, Trey Lance?
I don't know about sucking.
Oh yeah, he blows.
I'm not sure what the comment was.
But he sucks too. He still sucks. Sam Donald's doing better ever since he left the Jets.
True. So.
But I think he was talking about, J.J. McCarthy and him not starting next year. But here's the thing is he already won the job and then got hurt.
Yeah. Oh, ask Trey Lance about being drafted.
Yeah.
And being replaced. I definitely agree with that comment. Whoever is winning is whoever is winning. If Sam Darnold is winning and they're winning football games, and Justin Jefferson, who is getting paid a lot of money, likes him and is happy and wants him as the quarterback, those things will all influence it, and I definitely think it. Ooh.
I just don't know if they're going to have the money that he's going to command if he has a good season.
I don't think it's going to be good enough to command a huge amount. I think it's going to be good enough to be the
Maybe $20 million. Maybe $20 million a year.
Yeah.
Bare minimum.
We can probably afford that. All right. Look at this prediction by Hitman.
Oh, I hope not. I mean, it makes sense, but you called it now. Screenshot it. All right.
You heard Piff.
Also,
so if
screenshot it.
If you it, then you are proof.
So I said Donald, Justin Fields.
Before we get
he's still out there.
Hold on, 1 second. All right, cool. Sorry, I had to load some. My thing I wasn't. All right, cool. We're good. All right, so yeah, Justin Fields.
He's looking like he's going to be the starter long term. He's not going to give up that job to Russ.
Who said that?
Russ thinks that he's going to be the starter, and he talks like he's going to be the starter when he's healthy, and that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, I just remember.
Did you say it? Did you say it?
Yeah, I remember talking about Fields, and I think he's the franchise quarterback of the Steelers right now. That's hilarious.
It's crazy. Coaching
is
a crazy thing.
Do you think Russ will go to Miami?
I mean, he could. I mean, if they want him.
You know that excuse me. Do you know what the yardage and fantasy points could be if he went there? Unlimited. Yeah, I think Fields signs a deal. They won't even have to pay him that too much. He's just so happy to be in the NFL still. There's no way he's gonna be like, nah, dude, I'm good, because he's not playing well enough to get a giant contract. He's playing well enough to get like 18 to 20 a year.
Still got a long way to mess it up too, though. So
very true. But he's gonna have a long leash with that very good defense.
It's true.
Boo for that Russ joke. Ah, whatever, dude.
So no, he's doing great. Danny Dimes, he's my next guy. He's another one that's doing awesome. He's got to be picked up, I think, for a backup at least.
Backup in a Superflex QB too.
Yeah, but you ain't getting him. I mean, even Superflex, he wouldn't be out there on a waiver wire. I looked in a bunch of leagues, I'm into redraft. I looked in a bunch of redraft leagues and seen what was on the waivers today before I made my list of people. Andy Dalton, that's a guy that would be out there.
Yep.
In a Superflex redraft. Tyler Huntley, just in case they bring him up from the practice squad because Skylar Thompson's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it for quarterback. I mean, most of them are already
not Deshaun
taken.
Watson.
I don't want any part of him. Yeah, see, and F.
I'm
Watson.
just joking. I saw Hitman's comment. So much money.
Yeah, I think everybody else obviously will be gone in Superflex, but Huntley and Dalton may still be out there.
Yeah, I grabbed Dalton ahead of time in a couple Superflexes just in case.
So do you got anybody different than from who I would mention?
No, that's everybody I would mention. I didn't really have anybody new at quarterback. Everybody else that I liked that did well is probably rostered. I'm looking at Hitman's comment about he'd rather see Jameis. That's a guy who probably isn't out there even in a Superflex, but there is an actual chance that Jameis might be out there in a Superflex. If your bench is thin enough, then he might be out there.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Watson is one bench or one out. My shoulder hurts again from Jameis being the starter all the rest of the season.
I like that. I like that pickup if he's not already taken. Definitely in a Superflex.
You're gonna end up with this.
Yeah, eating W's.
Eating W's, dude. Yeah. So let's move on to. Do you want to move on to tight end?
Yes, please.
All right. Yeah, so for me, my number one on the week is clearly Cole Kmet. Before we go to the other ones, I'm going to have to really say this is an example of a coach liking a player, bringing in another player, even though they had a player who was already paid and already in that role, and thinking, I'm the coach, I know what's best, I'm going to implement this guy in my system, and it just didn't work. Shane Waldron loves Gerald Everett so much. He brought him over.
Yeah, I told everyone, chunked out.
And it just didn't work out. Cole Kmet already had a contract. Cole Kmet was already doing well. No, Cole Kmet is who they need to be using. He's my number
he's
one.
way too talented to be not being used on that offense, especially with no Keenan Allen. Like he needed to be out there catching passes.
Yeah, especially with no Keenan Allen. Like, yes, when Keenan Allen comes back, Rome's getting more of a role as we go.
Rome had a good week.
Somehow out there. He's probably not out there, but I saw a couple people rage drop him right before the game started in a couple of my leagues, where they just thought, "Oh, Caleb's done. There's nothing he can do," and they just dropped him.
Yeah, no, he's out. He's out there on my in my work league redraft. He's out there, Caleb.
That's what I'm saying. Like, not all your leagues are going to be with fellow supporters of different podcasts and whatnot. Some of the people you play with are going to be the kind of guy who likes fantasy football but doesn't live eat, sleep, and breathe it. And I got Jameson Williams for free for $0 before week 1 started, because right before the week started, the guy decided, oh, I don't like this defense. I'm going to get a streaming defense for this week, and then I'll use the other defense the rest of the year. And he dropped Jameson Williams. Yes, he had a stinker last week, but I still have confidence in him, and now LaPorta's hurt. So. Yep.
That's the other thing, too. All these top tight ends all suck.
They're all sucking right now. Jake Ferguson comes back off an injury and does better than all the other guys who are healthy.
Oh, I forgot. I gotta add a tight. Oh, we're only in the middle of them, so I can add him later.
Yeah, add him right now.
Well, he's a lower, but I'll say him anyway. Elijah Higgins. I already told you guys about him. But
because McBride
might have a concussion, so he's gonna be. Actually, does have a concussion, so he's in concussion protocol. We don't know if he'll be ready. And I have Noah Fant also on that list. Seems to be flashing a little bit.
Yeah. Definitely see that. Obviously, that's all I really have for my tenants. I know you had a couple other ones, maybe Tyler Conklin.
Yeah, but we don't really know. Like that could have been just like a game script type thing where like they knew they were weak at covering the tight end and just exposed it.
Yeah. Very true.
I'm sure Taysom Hill should be coming back from injury soon. Keep an eye on that. He's like having those rushing yards and stuff at the tight end position.
He's a weird tight end because sometimes he's only going to get 2 targets, but he's going to rush it 5 to 9 times and possibly get a touchdown. It's just weird. He might get
a touchdown pass.
2 targets. Throw a he's the only player we have that could catch passes, throw passes, and rush in a touchdown. All played at the tight end position.
Right, but that's what I mean. Like I would like as a desperation tight end, like he's perfect for like, oh my god, I have nobody to play. Yes. And I have to play somebody, and guess what? Taysom Hill's on the waiver wire, and you gotta scoop him.
Yeah, or you're like, oh, I'm down by a decent amount. I need a blow-up game. Am I gonna go with Colby Parkinson or am I gonna go with Taysom Hill? You're gonna go with Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill can blow up. Colby Parkinson's gonna give you a decent to a bad floor.
Yeah, like hopefully like 7 to 10 points. That's what
Yeah, I'd say let's move on to. It's up to you, wide receiver or running back.
Let's go wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
Yeah.
My number one, probably gonna be. Probably Tutu. And it's funny because I mentioned Tutu when we talked about the Rams. When we talked about who it was going to be, I kind of made a joke. And I wasn't really as serious. So I'm not really giving myself flowers. I'm more of like laughing and being like, I kind of joked and said, it might be Tutu. Who knows? And then it actually was Tutu. And I was like, oh, duh. Why didn't I just go with that? Like,
yeah, no, he showed that he's going to be used any way they can to get him the ball because they got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go Jalen Tolbert because nobody is stepping up as the wide receiver too. Nobody.
He seems to have.
And Cooks isn't doing it, so Tolbert might be the guy.
I think that's a good pick. There's a chance that Tolbert could be that reliable number 2, whereas Cook is more that like 1 week he does well, 1 week he doesn't, 1 week he does well, 1 week he doesn't. You just gotta hope that you catch lightning in the bottle when it strikes.
What a game by Jake Ferguson, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy. Coming off that knee injury, he did better coming off a knee injury, and like I played him where I could. And then a couple leagues, if I had 2 good tight ends, then I played the other guy, and I regretted it in every single one. Like I'm pretty sure, like a bunch of, especially like I know there's a redraft, but a couple of dynasties, I played instead of Ferguson. I think I played Oh, who was it? There was one specific tight end that I played over. Oh, Jonnu Smith, dude, because he had a good week last week, and I thought Skylar Thompson was going to spam him. So I played him over Ferguson in a couple just because I was like worried
You were
about
scared of the injury, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely got to mention Deontay Johnson. If he is somehow out there, because there were I listen to other podcasts. There were podcasts that were telling people to drop him, and that Bryce Young's unfixable, that there's nothing you can do, and he got dropped in some leagues. So if he's somehow out there,
boom, the red rifle shows up.
Yeah, dude, the red rocket rifle comes, and then all of a sudden he just busts down fancy door, dude.
That's like crazy. That whole offense just completely turned around with that.
Fun stat. There is only one quarterback in the NFL with 300 passing yards and 3 touchdowns in a game, and it's Andy Dalton. Oh, and Thielen's on IR.
Yeah. Yep.
Is it season-ending IR or is it?
No, full week. Hamstring.
Fair. Which could turn into basically the whole year with old wide receivers.
For the hamstring. Yeah, and especially old wide receivers.
Yep. Calvin Austin.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
He's another two. He's my Pittsburgh Steelers version of Tutu. Small wide receiver that I drafted $1 billion third, fourth, fifth round dynasty stashes of, and then dropped him the year before he does something.
I mean, Roman Wilson hasn't hit the field yet, so we don't know what he looks like. So I mean, he's essentially the wide receiver 2 right now on that team.
Yep.
So you gotta grab him. He's out there.
Yep.
Trey Tucker.
Yeah.
I mean, if they move on from Devontae Adams, he could be in for a lot of targets because they don't seem to be too happy with Devontae Adams right now.
If they move in, oh, did you see that one comment that the coach made, and it was about one of the DBs?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody on Twitter figured out multiple plays where this one DB went up to guys like he was going to tackle him and then didn't.
Interesting.
So, all right, that's very interesting. So yeah, that works. And do you have any other wide receivers before we move on to running back and then wrap up?
Yeah, little Jordan Humphrey.
Little Jordan Humphrey for years. For all the dynasty players, has had one of the funniest names of all players.
Yeah. But yeah, he showed out a good amount in the Denver game. So, and that valet guy that got
Holy scratch! Wasn't he a scratch?
Yes, because of Humphrey, they played Humphrey instead. He was a healthy scratch.
Wild. Yeah, I'm good with that. Other than that, everybody else, if you're thinking
I like
of anybody
that.
else.
I like that too.
I like
Johnny
that too.
Wilson.
Johnny Wilson, yeah. Big slot.
I like that call.
Speaking of, it's not likely, but if for some reason you're in a 10-team league and Dallas Goedert's sitting there on the waivers, you better go grab him. Because there are 10-team leagues where he's there because people don't always have 2 tight ends. They kind of do in our leagues because they're tight end premium, but in like a regular PPR league, I've seen some wild guys on waivers where I'm like, how is that guy on the waivers? I mean, whew, wild. All right, let's move to running back and wrap up.
Okay. My number 1 is gonna be Trey Benson. We've seen one bad game from Connor. Who knows how they're gonna react? Maybe he'll see a little more work, and if anything happens to Connor, he's probably gonna be the guy.
I agree. I would say definitely more toward the latter. I do think it's more of an injury thing. I don't think we went into last week knowing Connor had a bad matchup, so I'm just going to chalk this up to a bad matchup. I'm going to kind of do what we did for the last couple weeks with Zamir White. 2 or 3 weeks in a row of bad performances, I'm on the Trey Benson train. Let's get it going. Until then, we had 1 bad week. We had 2 good weeks. Let's see what happens. But I definitely think he should be picked up no matter what. I don't think there should be a waiver that has Trey Benson on it.
No, absolutely.
Mine is obvious. I'm pretty sure you have it on your list too. Mine was Trey Sermon. I mentioned him earlier. As funny as it is that he's the bad rookie pick that I made that hurt my team, I will say, regardless, he's the guy. He scored a touchdown. If Jonathan Taylor goes down, he's gonna be the Zach Moss of this year. Now, is it gonna be as good as Zach Moss was? Maybe not. I don't know. But could he be the guy who really retains that value if Jonathan Taylor goes down? Yes. So.
Well, I mean, that's what we look for, opportunity. So, I mean, if he gets the opportunity, he's going to need to be rostered.
Yep. And these are mostly for RB needy teams or teams that just like have a couple extra spots because of IR, something like that. We're not telling you to drop established studs for what ifs. But,
right. And this kid, Sweaty Pete, in the chat is just naming my whole list, except for Chuba Hubbard. I don't have my list. I figured he'd be rostered already. But Cordell Patterson.
He definitely hit some waivers this last week. I know some people who dropped him right before the game started.
But CPAT, because Najee got a little banged up.
And Jalen Warren is
Jalen Warren got a little banged up. So
he's hurt. I heard he's hurt.
You got whacked pretty good in that game.
Yeah. Hubbard, yep.
I mean, I got Tyler Bidet in there.
Tyler Bidet. Absolutely. Absolutely. If somehow Jalen Wright's still on your team, even though it's not desirable because the Dolphins aren't, but they're going to be looking for a quarterback sooner or later. If Achane gets hurt and Mostert's supposed to be coming back, that doesn't mean he's not going to go right back to IR. It's right back to being hurt.
Right.
I liked what I've seen from Wright so far.
No, he's very good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say like a couple guys are like I'm not really gonna go into detail about it, but Kareem Hunt, obvious reasons, he got elevated. Correct? You told me that he got elevated.
Yep.
Donta Foreman is still like leading that backfield in carries for now. The last couple weeks, and Ty Johnson has been coming on for the Bills as of late. He's been on the field an awful lot and passing down situations in the red zone.
Yeah, true.
Until Chubb comes back, he's going to be usable.
We didn't mention this guy. Somebody who will be on waivers in a lot of your leagues, guys. Not everybody took a shot at Juwan Jennings last week. There is a chance that Juwan Jennings is on a lot of your waivers because people grabbed him last minute. I have tons of redraft leagues that Juwan Jennings is sitting on waivers right now. So keep an eye out. Will he do as well as he did the other night? No. Oh,
who knows? Maybe he will.
You know who you need to grab? It's somebody that I've been on for a while, but Piff just doesn't like him that much. But he went 8 for 30, which isn't great. Then he caught 4 passes for 32. Roshan Johnson needs to be looked at because DeAndre Swift has been really, really bad. And Piff's boy, Roshan Johnson, in all seriousness, looked halfway decent. Did it look great? No. But, if you're playing PPR and he's catching 4 passes for 30 yards, just that, outside of the rushing, even just that is useful. So
absolutely.
But I mean, Emmanuel Wilson.
Yeah, Emmanuel Wilson. I like that one.
12 for 50, 2 for 25. Jacobs, no we're getting banked.
Yeah, he looked a little hurt.
Looks a little hurt. And even if he isn't hurt, it's good to have somebody. Like, we're talking about, when we're mentioning these waivers, we're not just mentioning, like, remember, for the people, most of you guys already know you're experienced players. But if anybody ever checks out the show and you're not an experienced player, you're just getting into it, or you need little tips and tricks that you just maybe didn't know. Grabbing backup running backs before the game is so crucial because you just don't know, and you don't want to be the guy who would spend your priority or all your waivers on a guy you could have already owned for free. I've done it myself. I've told myself, wow, I should grab this guy, and I don't. I get lazy. The game starts, the running back goes down, now that's the guy, and then he explodes for I did it with Zach Moss last year. I had a bunch of places that I listened to, and a lot of people I talked to that were like, hey, Jonathan Taylor's dealing with some stuff. Grab this guy, he's for free. Didn't do it. Next thing you know, he had a really, really good season. So
yeah, I mean, it's crazy how that stuff works. You just want to get that guy before somebody else does.
Yeah, I mean, because even if you might get him, you don't want to waste all your waivers or priority or fab.
Or fab, yeah.
You know what that sound is? Whether redraft or dynasty, when it's time to wind down, the music hits, tone shifts, and we're ready to wrap up the episode. So we're gonna have to thank you guys for always listening, for always being there. We know it's always the solid core. We're gaining traction a little bit at a time as we go. We're getting a lot of views after the live shows. We are probably gonna try to, do a Monday. It's not that hard when there's one game. When there's two games, it was just so much, and yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
I'm exhausted. I got nothing for you guys.
Nothing for us. Well, until next time, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Alfredo. With your support, that's what matters above all. We appreciate you guys. We're nothing without you guys. We really mean it. It sounds corny when we say it, but it's because sometimes when you express gratitude about a podcast, it's hard not to say the same things that everybody else says, because it's the truth. It's just from the bottom of our heart. And we just appreciate you guys more than anything. You help us grow. We're slowly growing. We're getting positive feedback as we go. And once we get to 100 subscribers, we'll have a little surprise for you guys. So we're at 72 right now, and we will hope to get there soon.
That'd be nice.
Like, share, subscribe. I know I've been saying it for a little while, but this weekend I'm going to get on X, and I'm going to start posting on the account, and I'm going to get premium so I can post the episodes to X.
The account, yeah.
Yes,
I'm
going to do that.
We can do the lives from here to there.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to post all the ones we've already made to X, and then from now on, I'll do the live to both simultaneously. Yep.
Cool.
Absolutely. But that only happens because of you guys. That only happens because of your support. And that only happens because you guys watch it and make it worth doing. Until next time, fantasy football is all. Fantasy football is all.